What's up, y'all? Lampkin Outdoors. It's a pretty day. It's an awesome day because we just got back from Sissel Tree Farms. My cousin, owner operator of Sissel Tree Farms. It's a U-pick Christmas tree farm, and just so happens that he's into wildlife and he has some persimmon trees and what I went and got today. And that's something I'm very excited about. Been planning for a couple years now. Found out he had some, and we went and got some. What am I talking about? Dunstan Chestnut trees. These are young, little saplings. They're right at a year old. We're pretty excited to plant these on the farm. They'll grow big and have big mass crops of chestnuts that the wildlife just love. February the 25th, 2023, and we're planting Dunstan chestnuts here on our farm. A lot of history about the chestnuts. Obviously, the virus come through many years ago and wiped out a great American tree, and these aren't quite the trees that the virus took out. Those were the fully American variety, and these are mostly American, crossed with Chinese, called the Dunstan chestnut, about the closest variety that you're going to find. But these aren't 100% totally blight resistant, but they mostly are. We're willing to take a chance on it because they have the bigger chestnuts on them. So anyway, we've got 24 of these we're going to be planting on the farm. Follow along with us. We're going to get them planted, and we'll show you along the way. All right, so going to plant our Dunstan chestnut tree, and pretty simple, no different than planting any other kind of tree. Couple basic principles you go by, and one of the biggest ones is whenever you're planting a tree, you find the depth of the root zone. So whenever we was pre-digging this hoe, we know that this pot is about 3/4 the depth of our pot, our shovel is, okay? So we don't want to over dig our hoe. Over time, it'll rain, it'll settle it to the depth that you've dug. So it's important to keep this slightly above the surface of the ground during the pre-plant, and then it'll settle to roughly about level. So like I said, we've already pre-dug this one. So we set it down in here and we look, we see what's about level with the ground. So I can tell on this one right now that I'm roughly about 1 inch above the surface of the ground around it. That's perfect, that's what we want. Put them in there. I'm gonna pull in some loose dirt around it. Might have to decrumble some of it to get it as smooth as you can. We got rain coming next couple days. This ground's already got a lot of moisture in it. We're not worried about watering this tree today. If it was during a dry spell, you had dry dirt, you would be very much worried about watering your tree. Plenty of moisture already in this dirt, so we're not worried about it. It's gonna pack around, take out all the air pockets out of it pretty easily by just pressing it down. We want to get a nice little covering over top of our root zone, but not too much. Somewhere around about 1/2 inch works just perfect. Now, this is what I'm talking about. We're about 1 inch above the surface of the ground. Whenever we pack this in, get all the air pockets out of it. Now, we're just right at level with the ground, maybe just a little bit above. That's perfect. I'm sure it'll settle just a little bit more. Higher than the ground around it is good. Lower than the ground around it, tree won't make it. So now we're in good shape on that. Now we're gonna build our berm. Without a berm out here on the farm, we're not close to a water source. It's gonna be tough for us to be able to water this tree in the summer. July, August, September is our dry months here in Kentucky. We build this berm because if we do have to come water this tree a few times, we want to make it count. And to be able to make it count, we need to be able to pour this water in here and have it stay. If we don't have a berm and it's level ground around it, then we come to water this tree. It's summertime, it's hot, it's dry, the ground's like concrete. The water's just going to run right off. It does us no good. We want to deep water this tree whenever we come. So we build this berm. And the depth of this berm, somewhere around about 2.5, 3 inches is about the depth of the height of our berm compared to the level of our tree. So we're going to be able to pour a 5-gallon bucket of water over this, get a nice 2 inches of standing water. It's going to work perfect to water a tree. We want to pack that in. If you don't pack it in, first rain that comes, this is going to wash it out. Or it'll make low spots, dips in it. You'll come back to water it, and water won't stand in it. It'll be running out. So we pack it in real nice. So that's the start. Got our tree planted slightly above the outside surface. We got our berm, hold water. That's step one. Okay, our next step is going to be our landscape material. To me, I think it's crucial. At home, it's easy to de-weed around your tree in your own yard, or if you have easy access. Here at the farm, it's not as easy for us, so we want all the help we can get, and this landscape material will be not only moisture retention, but it's going to keep the weeds down as well. So my handy dandy wife has already pre-cut this for me, and already got a hoe in the middle. She's got it measured to where it's slightly outside the zone of what is our 3-foot circumference on our cage. So be right outside the cage area. Just going to get this fitted on there. Nothing perfect, just want our hoe in the middle, centered around our tree. Grab little sticks around, don't have to be perfect. We're going to hold it in place on the inside, poke our stick on the outside. Again, we're going to hold it in place, sticks in it. And once the mulch gets on top, it's going to hold the material. We just do this, just kind of hold it in place while we're doing it. Windy day, it would probably help out the most. Today it's not windy. All right, so that's going to hold that in place. Again, our landscape material is going to hold moisture for us, and it's going to keep the weeds down. And that's much appreciated up here in a place where we've got 24 of these trees, and not exactly easy access. Come up here to the farm and have to do all this work. So that's step two. Next step is going to be to protect our investment, and that's put wire around our chestnut tree. Without the wire, chestnut tree will not make it. Deer love to browse on these, and they'll eat it to the ground, and won't have a chestnut tree. So we want to protect our investment. So next thing we want to do, I've already pre-cut a hoe right here in our landscape material for our T-post to go into. Now, I know west is that way, and west is our predominant wind. So that's where I'm gonna put our lone post, is toward the west. So our wire is already the circumference of our berm. We made it so. And we come around the outside of our berm, put the V-notch into where the wire is going to be. What I do, you don't have to do it, but what I do is where I put my wire together, I've cut a 6-foot length of wire. That gives me a 3-foot diameter here on my tree. So what I'm doing is I'm going to tie it together, and I use zip ties. You might ask, why do you use zip ties and not wire? Well, zip ties are a whole lot easier to be able to cut off, because I'll eventually have to cut this off to be able to prune it. So I'm going to take these zip ties, use about 3 of them, 1 at the top, 1 in the middle, and 1 here at the bottom. Now these are heavy duty zip ties, not just any zip ties. They'll last for a long time. And that's got that wire where it's not going anywhere, it's there. Okay. All right, so the last thing we're going to do is put a little mulch around it. And to me, this is a big part of what we're doing, because mulch will not only hold moisture in, but it's gonna keep the ground cool. And that's big when you get to summer months and it gets hot. If this tree is sitting here baking, it's going to have a hard time getting growing and thrive and survive and get to growing fast. So it's going to hold moisture, it's going to help keep the weeds down, and it's going to help it stay cool and thrive and survive. And that's what we want. We want to grow as fast as we can. And what I shoot for is on the outside, I'm putting maybe a couple inches. And inside on the tree, I'll do the same thing, a couple inches. But the key is once I get mulch in there, I'll reach back in with my hand and I'll pull it away from the tree. If it's 2 inches deep all next to the tree, it's going to have insects in there, invite a lot of viruses, bacteria and stuff, get around the trunk of the tree. We don't want that. So if you're around the tree, go deep. What's cooking? Good looking?
Not much.
Don't talk to me like that when the camera's rolling.
Talk to me dirty. I'm dirty.
You are dirty. All right, guys. That's a wrap out here on the farm today. We've got all of our Dunstan Chestnut trees planted, and man, we're pumped about what the future holds on those trees. I think that they'll produce a lot of mass crops and just be something to look forward to over the years. Nothing like improving your farm, and we're excited about that. So anyway, just tell you a little bit about us. We're the Lampkin family, Lampkin Outdoors, name of our site, and we are all about improving our farm. We love to turkey hunt, deer hunt, and to control all the predators on our farm. That way we can maximize our hunting experience. So follow along with us. We're going to be doing all things to improve our farm, and I hope you enjoy it.